More trouble for Democrats. Michigan is really looking like this is the thing that could go south. You know, just like Hillary Clinton, there was those ominous signs in the entire Rust Belt, not just Michigan in 2016. Michigan really just has that vibe of the thing that's going to go sideways for Democrats because there's story after story like this. And this is from the Detroit Metro Times. So this made very, very big news locally in the exact wrong place. If you're the Kamala Harris campaign, Detroit Muslim leader ejected from Kamala Harris rally, deepening rift between Democrats and Arab Americans. The Kamala Harris campaign kicked out a prominent Muslim Democrat from the vice president's rally in Royal Oak on Monday, further driving a wedge between the Democratic Party and Arab and Muslim Americans. Ahmed Ghanim, a Democrat, says he accepted an invitation to the event and was seated in the Royal Oak Music Theater when a campaign organizer ordered him to leave. She took me to the door and she closed it, and I found 2 police officers waiting there. And she said, "You have to leave right now," Ghanim tells Metro Times. I asked why she was kicking me out. She wouldn't answer. I was very calmly asking why I was being kicked out. So he didn't do like a protest or anything. They picked him up. Right. Sir, you got to go. He continues, "I was just wearing a suit and a white shirt. I said, okay, and I left. The police officer said, you either leave now or I'll put you in the back of my car." Ghanim, who immigrated to the U.S. from Egypt in 2001 and is vehemently opposed to U.S. support for Israelis' military actions, oh, well, there's your answer, says he still has been given no reason why he was removed from the event. Ghanim became popular among progressives and other factions after co-founding Metro Detroit Political Action Network, a group that formed after the inauguration of Donald Trump. The network rallied against Trump's Muslim travel ban and branched out to fight other racial, environmental, and economic injustices. In August, Ghanim lost in the Democratic primary election to U.S. Representative Haley Stevens, a third-term moderate Democrat who has been a staunch supporter of Israel. Oh, well, that's another reason why you probably weren't welcome. You primaried one of their moderates. That's a no-no, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Pro-Israel groups, some of them funded by Republican mega-donors, have lavished her, meaning the incumbent, Haley Stevens, with political donations. Over the past 4 years, United Democracy Project, a political action committee affiliated with American Israel Public Affairs Committee, AIPAC, obviously, spent more than $4 million on ads in support of Stevens, according to campaign finance records. The ads make no mention of Israel. In an interview with Metro Times in May, Ghanim criticized Stevens as a genocide enabler. It's interesting that the AIPAC ads made no mention of Israel because they know that the Detroit area is not pro-Israel, right? And so they always have to play the team player card, right? Mm-hmm. That's the tactic that a lot of these moderate incumbents use against the challengers, which is that you're dividing the party and causing harm. Right. Of course, when it goes the other way, they never get accused of that.
Well, and they don't mind dividing the party when they don't like the incumbent.
Right.
When the incumbent is too progressive.
No, George Latimer, right?
Hillary Clinton will endorse George Latimer. Someone against them. Sure.
Yep.
They did that with, Ed Markey?
Yeah, Markey, too. That's right. Yep. You had a bunch of those assholes endorse Joe Kennedy over Ed Markey. Yeah, they'll do that. And Ed Markey is, that guy's more milquetoast than Liz Warren. And they'll raise
that was too much for them.
Yeah. He repeatedly called on Democrats to be more welcoming to Muslim and Arab Americans and said there's plenty of room in the party for diverse opinions on Israel's conduct. Ghanim says he and many other Muslims feel alienated by the Democratic Party and that Harris's campaign will be impacted by it. They keep saying they want the Muslims and the Arabs, but we aren't even welcome at an event, Ghanim says. They know me. I ran there. It's my district. I canvassed all over Royal Oak. Ghanim posted about his experience on social media and said a lot of Muslim and Arab Americans are angry with Democrats because of it. So here's his tweet. The Muslim ban is real, and it just happened to me at Harris's rally today in Royal Oak, Michigan. They kicked me out without any reason, even after I received confirmation to attend and passed a security clearance at the gate. After I was seated, they called me and asked me to leave without any explanation. So he attaches the screenshot of his email confirmation to the event and then posts this video, which he took after he found out that he was being kicked out.
gonna leave, but I wanna know why you're kicking me out from the.
Well, I'm not kicking you out. The venue's kicked you out.
Who's the venue? The venue? How the
The
venue
Royal
know about me?
Music Theater. I have no idea. They've asked you to leave, so I was going to give you the
Unfortunately,
option
this
to
is
go
no
ahead.
longer a conversation, so can we please escort the building, please? Thank you.
Okay. I'm glad the Muslims like that. That's amazing. That's an amazing.
This is no longer a conversation. We need you to leave.
Yep.
So here's the other interesting to this piece here. Meanwhile, Trump visited Hamtramck's Muslim leaders last week in an effort to win over Arab American voters. Hamtramck Mayor Amr Ghalib, a Muslim immigrant from Yemen who campaigned on banning LGBTQ pride flags from city property, endorsed Trump in September. The Michigan chapter of CARE, a leading Muslim advocacy group, spoke out about Ghanem's treatment at the event. As Donald Trump ramps up his outreach to the Muslim and Arab communities, the Harris campaign removes, under threat of arrest, a Muslim community leader who merely responded to an invitation. Basim El-Kara, executive director of CARE Action, added, "This disturbing action on the part of the Harris campaign sends a dangerous message of exclusion to the Muslim community." In a statement late Monday afternoon, the Harris campaign didn't say why Ghanem was removed, but said he's welcome at future events. Oh, at future events. The election's in what? 11 days? Hey, when we swing back around, never, because the election's in less than 2 weeks, you can come back to a future event. There aren't going to be any future events. It's the third week of October. But hey, if hypothetically we come back here within the next 10 days, which we're not going to, sure, track us down. That's amazing. He's welcome at future events. You say that with less than 2 weeks to election day.
2028.
Yeah, 2028. The campaign was swiftly informed by Engage Action of yesterday's incident and looked into it, the statement reads, referring to a Muslim American advocacy group. Our campaign regrets this action and its impact on Dr. Ghanem and the community, and he is welcome at future events. We value our relationship with the Muslim American community.
You are really showing that.
Really showing that.
You are really showing that. Touring that region with Liz Cheney.
Yeah.
Liz Cheney, daughter of the architect of what some would argue was a genocide in Iraq.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's the ultimate. I mean, that's the cherry on top, is you're having, these Muslim leaders removed from your events, and then you're barnstorming the Detroit suburbs with Liz Cheney, daughter of the architect of the post 9/11 foreign policy. Some say the architect of 9/11 itself. Not me. Some people are saying that. Some people.
9/11 was safe and effective.
Yeah, I'm not. But some people are saying that. I'm not saying that. But a lot of people think that, which means it's bad messaging.
Crazy people.
A lot of crazy people think that, which is why it's really not smart to go barnstorming these Rust Belt states, which have a lot of Arab voters, with Liz Cheney. And it's really not smart to be removing Muslims from your campaign events. They're really just pushing what you're seeing now is a doubling, tripling, and quadrupling down on the white suburban normies. That's the entire play.
That's it.
That's the entire play.
It. They're doing to Muslims what they did to the Bernie people.
Right.
Where everything they did was almost designed to alienate them. But alienating that faction, I mean, of course, they are psychologically disposed to do that. They hate people to the left of them far more than they hate people to the right of them. But really, it's about the more you alienate that group, the more you're cultivating or theoretically cultivating these suburban moderates with that kind of signaling. Normally, we see them doing this to left voters. Now they're doing it to Muslims.
Right. Exactly. Now,
fuck
they
the
have
Muslims.
Right.
We lost the Muslims. We're going all in on suburban white people.
Yep. And they're making this kind of shit part of their appeal to those suburban, conservative, leaning swing voters. That's why they're sending Kamala out there with Liz Cheney. They sent Doug Emhoff, Kamala's husband, to Michigan with Richie Torres to talk about what a staunch supporter of Israel Kamala Harris is. They took a Zionist from New York and sent him to the swing states with Kamala's husband to talk about Israel. Like they are just going all in on the former subscribers of the Weekly Standard before it went out of business. Like that is basically what they're betting the farm on. And it's not looking like a good bet at the moment. The momentum is definitely building in Trump's favor. Not massively, but noticeably. But the Democrats know at this point that their only play is to this very narrow slice of voters, which happens to vote a lot. They're betting that, hey, these people turn out. Some of these other groups that we're losing don't tend to turn out as much, so we're hoping that for every
they don't
5 or 6 young people or Arab people or black people that we lose, one suburban normie will cancel them out because suburban normies vote a lot. And so that's what they're thinking. That's what they're thinking. But they are really, I mean, it really feels like karma is coming in Michigan. They're just pushing it further and further and further every single day. There's a new story coming out about how they're screwing over these people whose families have been genocided for the past year. And it looks like, to me, my gut is telling me there might just be a price to pay for it.
I think there will definitely be a price to pay for it in regions. They are. It's easy to miss it because you don't have Hillary herself, but they're running Hillary's 2016 campaign.
Right. Yeah.
For every blue collar worker we lose, we'll pick up 2 or 3 moderates in the suburbs. They're running which didn't happen.
Right.
1. And 2, they're really leaning into the Trump is unfit for office and the world is going to end if he gets elected argument, which, if anything, it didn't work in 2016. It's even weaker now because most people were better off when he was president. Not necessarily because of his policies, but we're at a different moment in history. We're post-pandemic. We've talked about this. You don't know that if Trump had gotten elected to a second term, we wouldn't have had the inflation. By the time that election took place, a lot of that inflation was already baked in.
Right.
What, he's going to get elected now and all of a sudden prices are going to go back to 2019? So I don't know how much improvement you're going to get. But in the end, in reality, prices were better. He was president. That's how people think. Since these people became president, got into office, I can't afford groceries.
Right. Exactly.
And once again, they're leaning into, he's unfit. It didn't work before. Why do you think that's going to work now? It's incredible that they did not learn from that experience. The only voters that appeals to, you already got them.
Exactly.
You already got them. That doesn't persuade anybody.
Yeah. Yep. That is 100% right.
Please clap.